Well, we finally have our first big controversy when it comes to AI in the music industry, as the elusive TikTok user at Ghostwriter 977 went viral the other week for the AI-generated Drake song that featured The Weeknd and supposedly AI-generated Metro Boomin production, but the lyrics supposedly being from Ghostwriter themselves. And they released a song called Heart on My Sleeve, which was blowing up on TikTok over the last week or two. And, right when it starts to get released on Spotify and on YouTube, it kind of mysteriously disappears. And while Ghostwriter themselves did actually start deleting some of the TikTok videos, they did not delete the other stuff that was removed from Spotify, YouTube, and even Genius. Yes, I went to look up the lyrics to Heart on My Sleeve by Ghostwriter 977 on Genius, and it says the page is no longer there. And when you go and look up the song on YouTube, or in this case, click a link where the song was previously available, you just get a takedown notice from, you guessed it, Universal Music Group, who obviously represents Drake. And the concerns about AI and its usage within the industry have kind of been clear-cut if you've been paying attention. The rise in the impersonation voices, even the jokes that we see on TikTok, and I see people in the comments saying, people said AI was going to be dangerous, and, we just get these type of videos like Trump and Biden arguing over Halo versus COD with, Subway surfers below them. Enjoy that while you can, because I think this is kind of the first taste of what could happen. But, I think the bigger case with what happened here with Ghostwriter is the takedowns weren't necessarily legal. And what I mean by that is Universal Music Group did not exactly have grounds themselves to remove these songs, since it's technically not Drake, but at the same time it kind of is. So let's talk about that for a second, because yes, did a person have to make the song, put in the minimal amount of effort to write lyrics and potentially record their own voice and use the AI filter to make the voice sound like The Weeknd or Drake? Yes, somebody did that. But the issue is that it's not their creation just themselves. How do you think that they got their voice to sound exactly like Drake, exactly like The Weeknd? Well, they sample songs and interviews and anything that can be found from those said artists to make their voice sound like they want it to sound like. And that is the part that the music labels and the music industry as a whole seem to be really scared of, because Universal Music Group pretty much hopped in pretty quick to take down this song. And, the labels, they definitely know about AI, its potential dangers, and they were just, I think, waiting for the time to make a point, to finally, kind of put their foot down. And while they didn't have a lot of legal ground to do so, the fiscal relationship between streaming services and even YouTube and the labels, that's an inseparable relationship. So it makes sense that Spotify in particular, as well as YouTube, would want this song off their platform ASAP. And Universal Music Group also said that it's not against these sort of technologies, but they're against the AI that is so advanced that it can, make new melodies and transform someone's voice to sound like Drake or sound like The Weeknd, which, I think that's kind of a catch-22. It's like, I love technology, but I hate it. It's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And what that poses towards Universal Music Group is, their deep, huge library of music that they have paid for over the years. That's up to debate as to how valuable that is when AI enters the space. And Universal Music Group actually released a statement Monday about this, saying, quote, "UMG's success has been in part due to embracing new technology and putting it to work for our artists, as we have been doing with our innovation around AI for some time already. However, the training of generative AI using our artists' music begs the question as to which side of history all stakeholders in the music ecosystem want to be on," end quote. That's a bit of a pompous statement from, one of, if not the biggest, label in the entire industry, in that, embracing technology, but not all of it. And I'm not saying I disagree with them. It's just the statement itself doesn't exactly read as a company that exactly understands what kind of stance they're trying to take on this. Because the company has also said the AI that is being used by people like Ghostwriter, it violates UMG's agreements and copyright law, and thus, generating the takedowns and things that we've seen from there. I don't know how that will play out, because the technology is so, perpetually developing every single day. I don't know how it's gonna, sound a month from now. That Heart on My Sleeve song could actually sound listenable. And I'll get into how bad the actual song is in the first place, because I don't know why people are calling it good. But, an attorney for the Folks firm, which is an entertainment and business firm, said that, quote, in the case of work containing AI-generated material, the office will consider whether the AI contributions are the result of, quote, mechanical reproduction, end quote, or instead of an author's own original mental conception to which the author gave visible form. And, basically that distinction is going to be very, very hard to make for the courts, for the labels. And obviously when you're the labels and you're trying to tiptoe around this language of we don't hate all AI, just this AI, it's tough because it's going to be sort of an all or nothing thing with the courts unless this technology kind of reaches a stagnant point, which at the pace it's going now, that just does not seem to be the case. And honestly, what I find more interesting or more fun to talk about within all of this is kind of the ethical implications of it. I saw people on Twitter saying, like a white dude being like, I'm rapping over like Kanye West. And it's like, do you not see the issue with that sort of thing? So, and even seeing that as like a content gimmick thing to go viral off of is just a bad precedent. And if that's the beginning, where are we going to go from here? I'm kind of scared. But I find an issue in, somebody, this ghostwriter person, basically being like, I can make a career off of these people's careers and just take their stuff and essentially throw it into a randomizer and reprinting it out and not claiming it as your own, but kind of making a joke off of that and, making headlines with it. It's kind of clear with the ghostwriter incident that there was not a lot of, financial profit to be recouped from this, but I think it's more of a point. And I think somebody could make the case that this is some sort of psyop from the labels of like, oh, we have to create an issue to finally like prove that AI is an issue. But I think that would be incredibly far-fetched, albeit very entertaining. The song itself is just really bad. Not only the lyrics super contrived, and yes, I'm sure Drake would, take a few of those bars if he heard them out and about, but the song itself is just it's trash. The beat, the fact that they threw a Metro Boomin tag over it is offensive. It sounds more akin to maybe like Wheezy or somebody. And I think the biggest kicker of it is the song just didn't sound good. It didn't sound mixed and mastered. And what I don't understand about that is if you're gonna go all out, this persona online, I made this AI generated song, why would you not try to make it sound as good as you possibly could? Maybe it's sort of trying to make the statement that anybody can do this, but man, that beat was trash and that song was trash too. So I'm glad the song itself wasn't like super well written or anything, because that would almost, I think, sway more people towards the AI side of it. The people that's kind of plead like indifference with it of like, oh, it's just, how's it different than a Drake song? It's like, let's not kid ourselves here and pretend like Drake made this. I think that's the biggest thing too. It's like, and that's why I think the industry is afraid of it too, is like it influences how you look at and consume these artists' content. Like when we saw the AI generated stuff with like Drake over the past, I would say, few months with him and Ice Spice, he posted about how he didn't like the AI of him saying Ice Spice. And I'm sure he's come across other videos of him and Ice Spice having AI generated conversations. It's like, this is the tip of the iceberg right now. And it feels like we're finally getting to a point where there are actually going to be very real issues coming from AI generated content within the music industry. And while the future of AI in creative arts is uncertain, and I'm sure that we will see laws being enacted soon that protect the artists, but mainly the record labels, from the potential danger of AI impersonations, taking the shine away from the ones that actually make the music in the first place. If you heard a song that was AI generated by your favorite artist and you found yourself enjoying it, what would you think? That's what I'm going to leave this video off on, because I think it's kind of a good litmus test in terms of how, we as media consumers, as fans, approach this, as these conversations will only get more elaborate and more layered as time goes on. So let me know what you think now, and I'm excited to talk about this in the future. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you soon.